every time someone would tell me you don't have to comment on everything, you don't have to talk all the time, and also talks about being quiet, especially the sermons. I would um, get angry and be passive aggressive instead of understanding and using that. I would feel attacked pretty much. I would be passive aggressive. So how did I really didn't care. I was rude, mean, and disrespectful. And it was because social media was, I was letting social media keep me that way instead of growing and learning how to be quiet. I was too angry to accept the advice, to listen to that sermon. I really did not care. I was always getting smart with my mama and my daddy. And then had the nerve to go into the pity parties and play the victim. So, how did I finally grow out of that? How did I grow out of the getting smart? How did I grow out of the acting like a spoiled brat like I saw on the internet? I reflected during the social media detox. Damn, I felt personally attacked. I took it personal because I knew they were right, but I didn't care. I was pretending to be on board, but I was doing the same thing they were talking about. And that's why I was told stay away from such and such because my behavior was too disturbing and disgusting. And it was a distraction to their growth, to the other person's growth. And that's basically why I didn't get on the Impact Church worship team either. Because I was that disrespectful and rude. I was a mean guy. And I was pretending to be strong, supportive, and loving when I was really, social media had me turn into these douchebags on the internet. It turned me into someone selfish, silly, and immature and breaking up people's peace. I became very loud, always had something to say. That's pretty much why I was never invited to any birthday parties ever. Not even to a wedding or a funeral. I laugh at it now. I laugh at it. 'Cause deep down, I was just hiding my true feelings instead of telling the truth. I let social media consume me more and more and more. And social media had a way of convincing me that I could not control myself. And that's basically the reason I got blocked by certain people because I was so disrespectful and ungrateful that it was really negative, and they didn't want to. They didn't want anything to do with that. I became one of those selfish people in the Bible, and that's why I was never invited to any birthday parties because a lot of people had fear I was gonna, ruin the vibe of the party and not get along with other people. Because obviously, what they could tell that at home, I always was showing off after the prayer at home, at my mama and my daddy's house, instead of applying the prayer to my life and being in agreement with it. I continue to act like these people on the internet instead of being the person that God raised me to be. God has called me to be, and my mama and my daddy raised me to be. That's what happens when you're disobedient to your parents. You miss out on a lot. It was really social media where I learned how to run my mouth when I know I didn't have to. I was pretending to be supportive when I was really being passive aggressive. I was too immature to understand. And I always was stressful instead of being quiet. Ask the twins, ask the Joseph twins. That's why the twins and I parted ways. I was too immature for these guys. Social media threw all the discipline out the window. I didn't realize how disturbing the way I conducted myself was. It was not even professional. And I never even realized that until I was almost sent to the military. I didn't realize that if my grandma Minnie and my grandma Mary and my granddaddy saw how I was conducting myself, they would not be happy with it. I realized there's a lot of people on this planet that was not happy with the way I was behaving. But I never told them that deep down I wanted to commit suicide and all that stuff. I never admitted that, but and I had no idea how. I thought it was the enemy, putting that in my head. And his instrument was social media. Instead of listening to the people that love me, like my mother and my father, I grew up and started listening to my parents due to the social media detox. And hopefully, after this pandemic ends, maybe I'll be able to find, those things that I was missing out on now that I've calmed down. And I don't think that people are gonna find me creepy anymore. I really matured from running my mouth when I didn't have to. That look of correction at the mall, really, I was I was that disrespectful that like other mamas were giving me that look, and I was told, listen carefully, make sure your parents read this too, stay away from such and such. Your behavior is too disturbing. Stay away or there's further action. I mean, I really, and you know that I'm sorry, and I hope you forgive me, and that social media is what really caused me to act like such a douchebag. That when one day, when I do come home to Rahway just to visit, hopefully I'll be forgiven now that I've calmed down. I grew up and controlled myself. It's a new season. I forgave myself for how disrespectful I was. And I really am getting it together. And yes, I'm doing what my mama and my daddy tell me to do. Y'all have a great night.